Okay, welcome to what I'm going to call Postie Bike Diaries. I think it's born out of a realisation. I kind of want to do more videos, but I always put them off and I always find excuses not to do them. I suppose it's because I don't enjoy the editing process or anything like that. So I just wanted to do a few though, just based around these CT110s, these Aussie post bikes that I'm doing up at the minute. So I've got 10 in total. I started with Dorothy, which is the second one there. So it's a Honda CT110 or retired postal bike, or postie bike as it's called in Australia. And I bought that bike 10 years ago now, and I rode it back from Australia. So 18 countries, 23,000 miles, took me 9 months from Australia up to Indonesia, East Timor, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal, India, Pakistan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Germany, France, UK. I did that trip, and a few years later I shipped that bike from New York to Alaska and did that second trip, which I think was about 8 or 9,000 miles. So that bike's now got 98,000 kilometers on it. I bought it in the first place because it was cheap. I needed a cheap bike to do that Sydney to London trip on. I didn't have a lot of mechanical knowledge, so I wanted something very easy to maintain and to work on. I guess I just liked the idea of doing it on a bike like that. I knew they were rugged and versatile enough to do the trip. It was just a question of getting used to the speed, which is about 40 miles an hour, so 7 brake horsepower, 40 miles an hour, cruising speed on the flat. I'll probably do 48 miles an hour flat out, and then uphill, certainly through the Himalayas and things like that, you're getting off and pushing. So not a lot of power, but that bike is Sydney to London. At the end of that, it needed new piston rings, cam chain, and clutch plates. Across America, it did need a rear wheel rebuild because the spokes had started snapping and it was very difficult to keep it true. It also had a top end rebore in Seattle to a 1 oversize. But other than that bike there, 98,000 kilometers is still original. It's not had a head bearing, it's not had wheel bearings, it's not had anything. It still runs and it's just passed its MOT the other day. So it gave me the idea earlier this year to do Garbage Run Australia. A Garbage Run is a series of guided tours or semi-guided tours I do, and the idea was to take 8 people across the outback from Brisbane to Perth, coast to coast. And so I purchased these bikes from Joe at 110 Motorcycles, which is where I got Dorothy from 10 years ago. And he sorted me out the 9 bikes, and equipped them for long distance travel. So he put in an auxiliary tank, and just made sure that they were robust enough to do a 6,000 kilometre trip across the outback, straight through the desert, Oodnadatta tracks, Jazleki track, Great Central Road, out past Uluru. So a lot of corrugations, a lot of rough roads, and pretty much all the bikes survived in one piece. The original idea was to bring them back to do a ride back from west coast to east, to ride them back to Sydney. But at the end of the first trip, I thought it was probably a better idea to bring them back to England. I guess I didn't fancy doing the trip again. It's quite a long, arduous trip going across the outback on Postie. I've got to say, mainly because of the corrugations and the nature of the roads, it's quite an ordeal. So the idea of doing it again didn't really appeal. So instead I put them on a container boat and brought them back to the UK. It took about 7 weeks or so. Cost me £450 a bike plus 30% of the purchase fee for the import duties. Just going through the process of getting them registered as UK bikes. They've got to have an MOT, got to make a few adjustments and changes to them. They all need obviously cleaning up, and I've just got to fix a few problems. There's a few that need head bearings changing and things like that. But yeah, so I just wanted to start the ball rolling with a first video really. I've got one through the MOT, this one that I'm sat on now. This was Jason's bike, Bella. The Joe in 110 Motorcycles gave them all the names, sticking them up. So Bella passed first time. I mean, listen to this bike, stuck in a container stuck in a garage for 6 months after the trip. Did nothing to it really. It's got 45,000 kilometres on it, but listen to this. I mean, they're just fantastic bikes. They're just really, really good bikes. A lot of character, easy to ride, clutchless, 4-speed gearbox, clutchless 4-speed. Like a C90 but conventional forks, a bit longer travel suspension, not a lot of suspension but enough. And it almost seems a more rigid frame as well, chassis. I don't know if it's because you've got this the engine bars running down here, it gives it a bit more triangulation. But it certainly feels more robust than a C90. Certainly with conventional forks, it rides better on the rough stuff. Again, not a lot of power, but then you've not got a lot of weight, so you can bounce along quite nicely on rough trails. So the idea really, when I get these bikes finished and ready, is to take people on little trail riding tours. So to go out around, whether it's Peak District or Wales, Devon and Cornwall, take people on little weekend trail riding tours, do some camping. It'll be very novice friendly because these bikes are very easy to ride for anyone. 105cc, so you could even do it on L plates. God, that's a worry, isn't it, taking a group of L platers? But yeah, that's the plan really. So next videos will show a bit of renovation on them, doing them up, getting them ready for the MOT. Still a long way to go before now and having them ready to do the tours, probably another month or so, because I've got to send them all off to get their registration plates. But that's it. A fleet of 10 Postie bikes coming to the UK sometime soon. That's it. Next video due maybe in another 3 months or so. Over there.